So guys, how are you all? Hope so that you all are fine and doing very well. We welcome you to our channel Techie Teams. Nowadays we are noticing that many of the people are confused that whether they should buy a laptop, build a PC or should purchase a desktop computer. We will be clearing all of your doubts regarding this topic. So if you find this video helpful, then you have to like this video, subscribe to our channel and share this video as much as you can. So without wasting any further time, let's begin. So guys, let's talk about laptops. A laptop is a small, portable personal computer with a clamshell form factor. And what is clamshell? I'm going to tell you about. The flip or clamshell is a form factor of a mobile phone or other device which is in two or more sections that fold via a hinge. If the hinge is on long edge, the device is more likely to be called clamshell. So as I told that it is a clamshell form factor, typically having a thin LCD or LED computer screen mounted on the inside of the upper lid of the clamshell and alphanumeric keyboard which contains alphabets as well as numbers. Laptops are folded shut for transportation and thus are suitable for mobile use. See, laptop's main advantage is that it is transportable. You can carry it when you are traveling to somewhere, but it's not possible with the desktop computers. Laptops combine all the input-output components and capabilities of a desktop computer, including the display screen, speakers, a keyboard, data storage device, sometimes an optical disk drive, pointing devices such as touchpad or trackpad like mouse in desktop computer with an operating system, a processor and memory into a single unit. This paragraph tells you about that the laptop consists all the components of the desktop in just one unit, like the keyboard, mouse, the monitor, the CPU, the processor. All the things are composed in just one unit, but it is not possible with a desktop because desktop has these all units separated, or we can build a computer by buying one by one all of these components. So guys, now I am going to talk about the pros and cons of a laptop. First, let's talk about the pros of the laptop. The first point comes in our mind is mobility. The first and main advantage of a laptop in comparison with a stationary computer is its mobility. The lightweight, compact size, the built-in battery in the laptop allowing it to easily move from one place to another. Many models can be worn at all times, used in a park, cafe or carter in a car. Thanks to this mobility, you can quickly access the necessary data wherever you are. Second point is finished product. The laptop is easy to use without any additional devices. As I told that all the components of the laptop are in a one unit, not like the desktop that it is separate hardware, the keyboard is separate hardware, mouse is separate hardware. Not like that. It has everything such as its own keyboard, built-in mouse, built-in speaker, built-in microphone. Many laptop have a built-in camera also, and even there are option with two built-in cameras on both sides of the laptop cover. Third point comes in our mind is internet access. Internet access is the second advantage of the rise in demand for the laptop because it provides the ability to access the internet through wireless technology, Wi-Fi. However, this possibility can be on a stationary computer, but you can only connect to the network at home. The laptop can be taken with you to any cafe, restaurant, park or another public space where there is a Wi-Fi coverage and connect to the internet. Moreover, some laptops allow you to install SIM cards for access to the mobile internet 3G or 4G. Now the fourth point is offline operation. The laptop is also convenient to use for all kinds of presentations. In this case, you do not depend on the technical equipment of the venue. Even the connection to the mains is not necessary since the laptop can work offline from its battery. Now let's talk about the cons of the laptop, means the disadvantages of the laptop. First point is sensitivity. Laptops are easier to damage as compared to ordinary computers. For example, it is not uncommon for a laptop to drop, fall with rain, sit on it, etc. All this leads to a breakdown of the device, and the repair of portable computer is much more expensive than the ordinary computers. Second point comes in our mind is unpredictable battery. Often the battery pack built into the laptop breaks down because it is not eternal and it needs to be operated according to the strict rules. In addition, many users have a habit of operating a laptop in exactly the same way as a stationary PC by inacting with power while using that in the forum. Reason for damaging the battery. Third point comes in our mind is reinstalling the native operating system. A very important point is that laptops really do not like reinstalling the operating system. The native system that comes in the laptop works with it in the best possible way. However, it is necessary to switch to another operating system. Problem with function keys, with device drivers of the laptop, etc. can begin. So guys, now let's talk about the desktop computers. A desktop computer is a personal computer designed for regular use at a single location on or near a desk or table due to its size and power requirements. The most common configuration has a case that houses the power supply. Motherboard. What is a motherboard? Motherboard is a printed circuit board with a microprocessor as the central processing unit, or we can call it as CPU. It also contains memory, bus and other electronic components, disk storage, usually one or more hard disk drives, solid state drives, optical disk drive, and in early models a floppy disk drive, a keyboard and a mouse for input, and a computer monitor, speaker, and often a printer for output. The case may be oriented horizontally or vertically and placed either underneath, beside, or on top of the desk. So guys, let's talk about the advantages and the disadvantages of the desktop computers. Let's talk about first advantages of the desktop computers. First point is spacious. Desktop are spacious computers. While there is a small niche market for a compact desktop, most customers are not too concerned about their size. In fact, for enthusiasts and gamers, the more space they have to for components, the more desirable they are for the power users. Their components are enclosed in a metal chassis or plate, which can be placed horizontally on the table, with the monitor on top of it, or vertically standing on the table with the monitor by its side. More popular known as tower desktop. The motherboard is placed inside along the length of the casing to one side, with its mounting screws attaching to the casing side. Alongside the CPU, RAM and ROM, the motherboard is equipped with the standard slots in multiple counts for attaching various components, adapters like for sound, graphic, communication, etc. that can be bought separately. Second point is upgradable. Desktop computers are very easy to upgrade because their architecture is designed in that way. The desktop has various standard slots for adding any compatible component. In general, the motherboard make and model decides to what extent the desktop is upgradable. All you need to do is simply determine whether the upgraded component is compatible with the installed hardware or not. There are almost countless combinations of components possible in the tech. You can even change the motherboard to allow for better upgrading options. Now third point which comes in our mind is configurable. Desktop are far more configurable as compared to other devices. From the choice of hardware combination you choose to internal tweaking, all can be achieved. Whether you want to overclock your processor or play around with your RAM and graphic card setting, the desktop give you a lot more room to experiment and configure the environment to you looking. Now fourth point is maximum performance. The desktop are generally designed for greater performance. Since there is a little restriction on the space available in desktop for components, they can be set up with components which provide maximum performance. There is no restriction on the available power in desktop. The power supply output determines it and not the input from the mains. So components with high performance can be comfortably installed. Now the fifth point comes is higher spec hardware, means higher specifications of the hardware. The hardware component installed in a desktop can have as much higher specification as you need or desire. Whether it means more tolerant, robust and durable components or components having high performance, the desktop can accommodate them. The one thing to note here that a component of a desktop is almost always more powerful than the same price component in a laptop. For example, the flagship Intel Core i7 processor in desktop would be far more powerful than the flagship Intel Core i7 processor in a laptop. This is the point to be noted. Now the sixth point is economical. The desktop hardware is more economical as compared to mobile computers like laptops. Anything smaller than a desktop or anything requiring portability naturally requires you to pay a premium for its design. Of course, by economical we mean that if you were to spend $500 On a laptop, the most powerful CPU you would be expect in Intel Core i5 processor being weak but battery saving. On the other hand, on a desktop, you can expect a much powerful Intel Core i5 9400 processor along with more RAM and even an SSD. Here, $500 is about 35,000 rupees. Now, we are talking about the disadvantages of a desktop computer. First point is not portable. The primary drawback of desktop is that they are not at all portable. The desktop chassis can be rather heavy and it is connected generally via various kinds of cable with all the peripherals, which are near to impossible for portability. The hard disk generally used with desktop are not optimized for shocks because that is not related to the way desktop are used. If you wish to simply shift the desktop from one table to another, you will need to power down the system. Disconnect all the various cables and shift the casing and other hardware separately to the other table and then reconnect the table. Second point is noisy. Desktop are noisy because of the large and high RPM fans used in them. The fans are needed for cooling and are must. Although newer fans are designed to be less noisy, the noise level is still noticeable and very unsuited for professional audio recording areas. The third point is less fault tolerant. The desktop can be equipped with many different combinations of hardware components. These components could be from different manufacturers. Then all the components are connected in a standard way to the motherboard. Unfortunately, this also means the specific components are not completely optimized for working together. Fourth point is needs more space for setup. Desktop are not about space. They are about performance and productivity. Hence, they tend to have a scattered setup. The keyboard, monitor, screen, mouse, etc. are all physically separate from each other and are from the desktop casing. You have to have a proper table and chair combination alongside adequate environmental temperature and an electrical supply outlet available. So we hope that you like this video. If you like this video, then give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to our channel and share this channel as much as you can. Be safe at your home and thanks for watching.